In today's breaking story, I have a bombshell from an Air Force Lieutenant General who said something that is in direct opposition to his future Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump, and his Secretary of Defense appointee, and I have the full story for you next. The trending story that's making waves features Lieutenant General Kevin B. Schneider, and it came to my attention under an X post by Trump's pick for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. Hegseth's reaction? A blunt and defiant note. So what exactly did the Lieutenant General say that sparked the dramatic response? I'll have that for you in just a minute. Before we look at that, let's take a look at the firestorm surrounding Trump's nominee with this very recent CNN piece. Watch as The Atlantic's Jonathan Chait describes Hegseth as unfit and a dangerous choice for the job.
Pete Hegseth, for one, has come under intense scrutiny since Trump unexpectedly picked the former Fox News host to lead the Pentagon. Last week, police in Monterey, California, released a report from 2017 in which a woman accused Hegseth of sexual assault. In 2020, while serving in the D.C. National Guard, Hegseth, a combat veteran, was pulled from active duty before his unit was to be deployed to protect the Capitol on January 6th because National Guard leadership grew concerned about pictures of Hegseth on social media that showed him having a tattoo that's been linked to a Christian nationalist group. Hegseth has also come under scrutiny for his recent comments about women in combat, and he has a history of making anti-Muslim comments. Joining us now, staff writer at The Atlantic, Jonathan Chait. His latest piece focuses on Hegseth and deems him Donald Trump's most dangerous cabinet pick. What makes him more dangerous than the rest?
What makes him so dangerous is that he's the embodiment of Donald Trump's unfulfilled first-term ambition of having a defense secretary who's willing to use American troops to employ violence against peaceful protesters. Trump demanded this of his defense secretaries during his first term, and those secretaries refused on principle. But Hegseth is obviously very, very enthusiastic about this goal and broadly shares Trump's worldview toward the American left, which he just regards as indistinguishable from foreign enemies. Hegseth used to be a more mainline neoconservative Republican hawk, but interestingly, he sort of changed his views at the same time Trump was changing his views. Hegseth went from someone who was attacking Democrats for betraying the country in Iraq to someone who shared Trump's belief that the Iraq War had been a mistake. But he just became even more intensely partisan in his thinking and has held on to this belief that the Democrats are a threat to America and have to be suppressed. I think this view really comes through clearly if you pay close attention to what he's written in his past 3 books, which is what I did to ground myself in this article.
And now for the video that Hegseth was denouncing, signaling his plan to uphold Trump's desire to dismantle the diversity, equity, and inclusion policy, a policy within the Department of Defense that ensures equal opportunity for military personnel and DoD civilian employees. This unearthed video you're about to see isn't a hot mic moment that caught the Lieutenant General off guard. It's from a fireside chat series published by the Department of Air Force, so you know he's not speaking out of turn.
What does the Department of the Air Force hope to achieve in incorporating DE&I policies?
Yeah, I think the short answer on that, we could go way deep on this, but the short answer is we want the best, most capable force that we can get. And we're trying to eliminate the barriers, open the doors and making sure that, that we can do that. We can have the best, most capable force that our nation can provide. And I think all too often that we have had limitations, either policy limitations that provide barriers, or we have not done the work with the American public to highlight the opportunities that come with military service, or specifically service in the United States Air Force. So we are getting after both of those. And ultimately, that's really what DEI is getting after. Not identifying the barriers that currently exist, getting messaging out to the public as to what opportunities do exist, and then just drawing the talent that we need to continue to excel as a force.
And sir, given that you are director of staff, do you have any guidance or input for CGOs on how do we better understand when we've made considerable gains with respects to diversity, equity, and inclusion?
This is the answer probably to a number of questions, and I don't mean to shortchange it by giving you this almost of a platitude of an answer. You know, when we can stop having meetings about it, or when we can stop having, you know, specific focused discussions on it, and it becomes part of our DNA, you know, then we've achieved success.
Whenever Donald Trump has said, "Make America Great Again," one thing has been abundantly clear. He's speaking of a time when white men ruled to the benefit of white men, and that's exactly how DEI policies came about. They were implemented to even the playing field because fairness doesn't come naturally. Those in power unconsciously, or in this case consciously, will perpetuate unfairness when left unchecked. Trump's policies are nothing less than an attempt to turn back the clock on progress for women, people of color, and marginalized communities. Now that's my opinion, but really I cannot say it any better than what the Department of Defense's own website currently says, and I hope somehow continues to say in 2025 and beyond. The changing face of the nation demands that we change. As the demographic makeup of the American population continues to evolve, it is imperative that the Department of Defense focus its efforts on emerging talent to ensure that we successfully attract, recruit, develop, and retain a highly skilled total force capable of meeting current and future mission requirements.